Hi, it's Miss Sherry. I'm here to teach you another story from the Bible, and we know everything in the Bible is true. Today, I'm going to tell you about a man named Stephen. Now, Stephen was just kind of a regular guy, but he was a regular guy who really, really loved Jesus. He loved Jesus more than anything. In fact, he made it his responsibility to serve and take care of people in the church. Well, the people who had killed Jesus, the people in charge, were still in charge, and they didn't like what Stephen was doing, so they arrested him. Stephen was standing in front of a lot of people who could set him free, or people who could hurt him and even kill him. And Stephen was given a chance to talk. Well, what do you think Stephen talked about? He went back first and talked about the Bible. He told stories that I bet you know. He talked about Abraham. Do you remember Abraham? If you remember anything about Abraham, you might pause this video and tell somebody what you remember. Maybe you remember Abraham and his son Isaac. Do you remember Moses and the Red Sea? If you want to, again, maybe you can pause and tell someone what you remember about him. He talked about all different stories in the Bible, but what Stephen did was he showed how all these stories pointed to one person. And who do you think that person is? The person Stephen loved more than anything. It pointed to Jesus. Well, the people in charge who listened to Stephen's sermon, they didn't like that. They didn't like to hear that all those stories that they knew were really about Jesus. So they killed Stephen, which is really sad. It's sad to think about that. But even then, Stephen looked up and he saw all the way into heaven, and guess who he saw? He saw Jesus, the person he loved more than anything. And Jesus was standing up, waiting for Stephen to come to him. When I think about Stephen, I think about a couple of things. I think about how much he loved Jesus. I think about the sermon he preached that showed the whole Bible, every story we have ever talked about is about Jesus. And I think about how Stephen was willing to do anything, even die for Jesus, and how Jesus loves Stephen too.